Every day, we throw away things that could actually feed the earth. In this video, I'll show you a simple way to make compost at home to give nutrients back to nature. Hi, I'm Mr. Ann, someone who believes that hidden in every handful of kitchen lies a small miracle of life. I used to be like everyone else, tossing out vegetable peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, without a second thought. Until one day, I realized that everything we throw away is part of a greater circle. A natural cycle where life never really ends. It just transforms to begin again. I want you to imagine this. One morning, you step into your garden and take a deep breath. The smell of moist soil, fallen leaves, and life itself fills the air. The rows of vegetables you've planted grow strong and green, nourished by the compost you've patiently made with your own hands. That feeling, I believe, is one of the simplest yet purest joys in life. And today, I want to share with you 8 simple tips, not just to help you compost easily at home, but to help you understand nature more deeply, cultivate patience, and reconnect with yourself. 1. Sort your waste before you compost. One of the biggest mistakes people make when composting is skipping this first step, sorting their waste. I've seen many compost bins fail because people toss everything in together. Vegetable scraps, meat, fish, oil, even bits of plastic. And after a few days, the smell becomes unbearable. Bugs show up and people give up. Compost is like a living being. It needs the right food to stay healthy. Imagine you're feeding a tiny creature, a creature of renewal. It loves fruit and veggie scraps, coffee grounds, and dried leaves, but it's allergic to salty food, oil, and anything synthetic. So, sorting your waste isn't just a step, it's a sign of respect for nature. I often tell friends, keep 2 small bins in your kitchen, one for compostable waste, one for everything else. That tiny act can change your family's daily habits. And you know what? Once you start paying attention to what you throw away, you also start becoming more mindful of what you consume. 2. Balance the green and the brown. People often ask me, Mr. Ann, why does my compost smell so bad or take forever to break down? The answer usually lies in the green to brown ratio. In composting, green means nitrogen-rich materials, things like fruit peels, vegetable scraps, and coffee grounds. Brown means carbon-rich materials, dry leaves, shredded paper, or small branches. Too much green makes your compost wet and smelly. Too much brown makes it dry and inactive. Like music, compost needs balance to create the rhythm of life. I often joke, composting is like cooking. It's all about getting the recipe right. A simple formula that works well is 2 parts brown to 1 part green. Think of it as preparing a meal for the earth. Just moist enough, just fragrant enough. And when you notice your compost pile warming up slightly, that's nature's way of saying you've got the balance just right. The microorganisms are hard at work. 3. Keep the right moisture level. A compost pile is like a miniature forest. If it's too dry, life stops. If it's too wet, life suffocates. I've made compost under Vietnam's scorching sun. In just a few days, it dried up completely. I've also tried it during the rainy season, when the bin filled with water. Both times, the compost struggled to stay alive. The key is to keep it as moist as a wrung-out sponge. When you squeeze a handful, it should feel damp, but not dripping wet. No need to overthink it. Just trust your senses, like a farmer who reads the weather by feeling the wind. A friend once told me, when I touch my compost, I feel like I'm touching the heartbeat of the earth. And it's true. When your compost has the right moisture, it comes alive. Microbes thrive, and the transformation happens naturally and beautifully. Let your compost breathe and drink just enough. It will reward you with the richest soil nature can give. 4. Turn it regularly. Have you ever noticed how the soil smells so fresh after you turn it over in the garden? Compost is no different. The microorganisms inside need oxygen to live and work. If we leave them trapped in a sealed, airless space, they switch to anaerobic mode, and the result is that unmistakable rotten smell. I like to turn my compost every 7 to 10 days. No need to stir aggressively. Just mix it lightly with a shovel or your hands so air can reach every corner. That's also how I check in with my compost to see if it's too dry, too wet, or heating up just right. Every time I turn it, I learn something new about patience, observation, and the quiet rhythm of nature. Have you ever seen compost steaming gently on a cool morning? That's the energy of life at work, silent, powerful, and real. 5. Use the right compost bin. Choosing the right compost bin is an art in itself. There's no single perfect bin, only one that fits you and your living space. If you live in the city, use a sealed plastic bin with air holes. It keeps pests out and looks tidy. If you have a garden, an outdoor bin or a pit in the ground is a great choice. It allows the compost to breathe naturally with the soil. The key isn't about fancy equipment. It's about understanding how your bin works. It needs good ventilation, drainage, and enough volume to retain heat. I've experimented with 5 different types of compost bins, and here's what I learned. Good compost doesn't depend on the tool. It depends on the care you give it. Just like in life, it's not about what we have, but about how much love and patience we put into what we do. 6. Prevent bad odors by managing oxygen. Bad smells are simply your compost calling for help. When you catch that rotten egg smell, it means your compost is running out of oxygen. But don't worry, that's not failure, it's feedback. Here's what you can do. Turn the compost to add more air. Add more brown materials like sawdust, paper scraps, or dry leaves. And make sure it's not too wet. I once worked with a woman in Dong Nai who tried composting in her kitchen. The smell was so strong she had to keep the doors open all day. But after learning to add a few dry leaves and mix it regularly, the odor disappeared. She told me, that's when I realized compost needs to breathe, just like we do. A small story, but a big lesson. Everything needs to be heard. Even compost, which seems lifeless, teaches us about balance, respect, and the rhythm of the earth. 7. How to know when compost is ready. People often ask, how do I know when my compost is done? And I always smile and say, use your senses, not a machine. Your compost is ready when it's dark like forest soil, smells earthy and pleasant, feels crumbly, and you can no longer recognize what it used to be. If it feels slightly warm, smooth, and not sticky, congratulations, it's ready. I still remember the first time I finished a perfect batch. I held it in my hands, smelled that sweet, earthy scent, and felt a simple joy, like a child seeing something new for the first time. Because I knew I had just created a perfect circle of renewal. You can use finished compost to feed your vegetables, flowers, or houseplants. Every time I see my plants grow greener and stronger, I think, from waste, we've created life. That's the true magic of compost. 8. Using compost to grow fresh vegetables. Finally, the sweetest reward for all your patience, seeing your compost come to life in your garden. Just mix compost with soil in a 1:3 ratio, and you'll have the perfect foundation for healthy vegetables. Compost improves soil structure, holds moisture, adds nutrients, and supports beneficial microbes. That's why vegetables grown with compost are always greener, crisper, and more flavorful. I have a small habit. After each harvest, I take the old leaves and roots and throw them back into the compost bin. And just like that, the circle continues. From soil back to soil. I truly believe that when we cherish every vegetable peel and every grain of soil, we teach our children to live more gently with nature. You don't have to be a farmer to understand the earth. You just need to be someone who loves life in its simplest form. And that's enough. You see, composting isn't just a way to handle waste. It's a philosophy of life, a lesson in patience, renewal, and gratitude. Every time you drop a vegetable peel into your compost bin, you're sending a quiet message to the world. This planet deserves healing. If you're also on this journey toward a greener life, start small. Start in your own kitchen. And if this video inspired you, please subscribe to the Compost channel so we can grow together, a community that loves nature lives green, and makes the world a little better every day. I'm Mr. On, and thank you so much for listening. See you in the next video, where together we'll keep planting the seeds of new life.